Hello, everybody. We have a super unique episode for you guys. One, our esteemed co-host Matt is not with us this week. He's at a Renaissance fair, so have fun, Matt. Two, I have a broken shoulder. I'm currently medically enhanced. And three, all the notes that I took for this week is currently at the bottom of Lake Boren. I dropped my phone into the lake. And so all my notes are gone. So Garrett and I are going to freestyle this. Oh, and there's a giant thunderstorm going on outside. So whole lot of variables in this episode. But we're going to just freestyle this thing and have some fun with it. The Mariners are bad.
They're very bad.
We were living high after the Mets series. And it was finalized with the Sunday Night Baseball, first Sunday Night Baseball game for the Mariners in 20 years. And they showed up for it. I mean, they dog-walked the Mets. 12-1.
It's a great game.
Was the final. It was
great showing for the Mariners. Let everybody know that we're here, you know?
Yeah.
Everybody's watching Sunday Night Baseball.
And it's like, oh, the Mariners are the real deal. We're here to stay. We're going to stomp all over the Mets. And since then, they have proceeded to do jack shit.
Zero.
So, literally no wins since that. Got swept by the Tigers, and now about to get swept by the Pirates. And the first two losses in the Pirates series were winnable games. The Mariners should have won those games.
Yet again, I mean, we can say the same thing we've been saying for weeks and weeks and weeks. The pitching is outstanding. Our starting rotation is absolute flames.
Best in baseball.
That's saying quite a bit. That's really cool. Too bad we're just squandering every opportunity they give us to win baseball games.
Yeah, I saw actually a stat sent to me by my buddy Andrew again in Boston that said the Mariners have the most quality starts in baseball by like 12. And if the Mariners had won those games that they had quality starts, we would have the best record in baseball, and it wouldn't even be that close. And instead, we are now watching ourselves slip out of playoff opportunity because we're not going to get the wild card. The only goal for the Mariners to make the playoffs this year is going to be through the division.
You have to win this division if you want to make the playoffs. Yeah, wild card is not within reach.
No, and it's just the way the AL West is designed this year. It's been a down year for the AL West. So being in second place in the AL West is not going to get you any of the now 3 wild card spots. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
And we had the 10-game lead, and now we're watching ourselves day in and day out fall further behind the Astros. The Astros keep winning. The Mariners keep losing.
We're creeping back to 500 almost. What are we, 2 games away?
2 games away from 500 baseball. And that's not going to get this team into the playoffs. And, you know, I'm not going to lie. I liked the moves the Mariners made at the deadline. Obviously I loved getting a Rosarina. Yeah. And Justin Turner, I was on the fence about originally, but I realized it was a good pickup. Mm-hmm. They're not hitting. A Rosarina today on Saturday's game got a platinum sombrero. 0 for 5, 5 strikeouts. Julio got a platinum sombrero on the Sunday Night Baseball game. 0 for 5, 5 strikeouts. It's just no one's hitting. The game against the Pirates, 1 hit.
Yeah, man.
1 hit. We scored a run in that game and it was on a bases loaded walk. Like, the offense is dead. It's dead.
Rayleigh hit a home run against Paul Skeens.
He did. He launched it, too. But
just a little flash of, just a glimmer.
But
if we had a league average offense, our team would be sick.
If we had a league average offense, we would be the best team in baseball. But we have an abysmal offense. Now, with a little bit of hitting and some runs scored, we're now second worst in the league, ahead of the Chicago White Sox. But still, best pitching, worst hitting. And, you know, they say defense wins championships and stuff, but, like, our pitcher, like,
they say that about baseball? That seems like a football, maybe basketball thing.
It's a thing. But the thing is, like, you can hold them to 1 or 2 runs, but when your team is getting 1 hit, then what does it matter? It doesn't matter if they score 1 run or 150 runs. It doesn't matter because the Mariners can't hit a damn baseball.
Yeah, we can talk about our record against teams that are under 500. Abysmal.
And teams above 500, the Mariners actually have one of the best records against teams over 500.
Do we have the fewest runs scored against?
Oh, I don't know about that.
I think we're
I
up
know.
there.
I know our team ERA is currently best in baseball, so that could correlate with least runs scored against us.
If it's not top, it's up there.
If
It's
it's
got to
not-
be 3.
I was
Top
going
3,
to say, if it's not top 1, it's top 3.
easily.
So, but, and it's just, we can't score. We can't hit. And it makes me wonder, like,
Ooh, Seattle special today, too. Loaded the bases, didn't score a run
in the 9th inning,
with no outs.
bases loaded, no outs, strikeout, or actually pop out, strikeout, fly out, game over. Can't do anything. Just the utmost Seattle special to a T. Game on the line. Need to get some runs in. Bases loaded, no outs. And it's just Luke Raley has been really disappointing to me lately. He still has his flashes. He can still put a charge into one and hit it, 450 feet. But the constant hitting hasn't been there.
Sure.
So
Robles has slowed down a lot.
Robles has slowed down. He was batting over 300 when he got here. Now it's like 270, which is still good and excellent for the Mariners, but it's not enough right now. And one thing that's really cost us, especially in this Pirates series that's currently going on, the defense hasn't been there again.
A lot of
Errors, misplays, miscommunication, stuff like that. And the Pirates have been playing exceptional defense. A lot of diving plays, great double plays up the middle, just good, hard-fought defense from the Pirates. And the Mariners are looking to get swept for the 2nd series in a row going in tomorrow. And it's just sucks. It's just bad baseball. It's not fun. It's not fun to watch. And I've said it before too. Like, if the Mariners lose like 7-6, 7-5, you're like, okay, they went out there and battled. When you lose,
They put runs up on the board.
yeah.
Imagine that shit.
When you lose 1-0, 2-1, 3-2, 3-1, it's just
15-1.
15-1. The Tigers fucking dog walked us. 15-1. Just brutal. It's just not fun. It's hard. It's hard to like come up with stuff to say about a team that is literally pissing away every opportunity that we have. And it's strictly the hitters. And, I have my beef with Scott, and I still want Scott gone at the end of the year. But it doesn't change the fact that he's not the one at the plate. These players...
They got to go out and they got to hit baseballs.
And just...
Yeah, you're right. You can't put all the blame on Scott. As fun and as easy as that is to do.
And it is easy. He makes it easy for us because he makes a ton of bullshit decisions.
Yes, but you're right. Yeah, absolutely. The players need to play. They're just not getting it done.
And our pitching staff our starting pitching staff is phenomenal, but it's not fair to these pitchers that they can even look at Bryce Miller and Brian Wu. 7 innings, no runs. Or like 1 run for Bryce Miller, 7 innings shutout for Brian Wu. And they get no decisions and the team loses the game because we can't score. And
what a way to thank your pitchers for pitching 7 scoreless innings is to go out there and put up 0 fucking runs. Real good job, guys. Awesome.
And
be proud of that.
As a pitcher, so our pitching core is what makes this team.
Yeah.
It's the only identity this team has right now is our starting pitching. But why would they want to stay here? Sure, Seattle is a pitcher's ballpark, and it can help their stats a little bit that way. But wouldn't they want their dominant pitching performances being on a team that can win them the games? Like, why would Logan Gilbert choose to re-sign here? If he has the option, which he will, he's one of the best pitchers in baseball. He has all 30 teams willing to sign him. And look what happened with Felix Hernandez. Felix Hernandez had all 30 teams willing to sign him. He chose to stay with the Mariners, and his career completely derailed, and he never got the recognition he fully deserved because he was on a bullshit Mariners roster.
No support.
No support. And Logan Gilbert isn't going to want to re-sign here.
Give him a reason to, please.
You know, Logan Gilbert is going to go to a team that can score 3 runs a game and give him a chance. If he's averaging less than 2 earned runs a game, he's going to go to a team that can score 3 so he can get those wins and be on a winning ball club.
And that's just math.
And that's just math, baby.
Come on, though. You're so right, dude. What the fuck are we going to do? How long do we have these pitchers around?
I mean, as soon as their contracts are up, you have to believe that they're going to go to greener pastures. And who can blame them?
Is anybody up this year? We're going to have the same guys next year?
I think so, as far as I know, because our pitching staff is also really young.
So,
Bryce Miller, Brian Wu, rookie contracts. Logan Gilbert he hasn't been in the league long enough to reach his next extension. And when he does, it's going to be for $1 billion and for whatever team he wants to play for because he's pitched that well.
Logan is so good.
He's so good.
Now, okay, so if we're going to have these pitchers next season, that gives us 1, maybe 2 more tries at getting this shit done.
Our window is closing fast. It's open right now, and we're pissing away this year. And I'd say 1 or 2 more years is realistically our window.
So what do you do in the offseason to bring in not just players, but change? You got to overhaul something, and you got to do it within a year.
Well, you know what's funny is I actually kind of disagree with that in a sense that I've been thinking about this a lot. The Mariners have just been a revolving door for 5 years, right? Our pitching staff has kind of stayed the same. We've had Logan for a while, but Logan and JP are kind of the only mainstays on the Mariners roster. Even Mitch Haniger left for a year. And each year...
Cal's in his 3rd year?
Yeah, 3rd or 4th year for Cal. And, but we're rotating half of our lineup each year because we're like, oh, these guys aren't producing. Send them out, call up guys, bring names in the offseason, which are usually washed up hacks that their prime was 5 years ago. But there's just it's hard to have that teammate camaraderie and to grow as a team when of your 25 starting guys, 14 of them are new year in and year out.
Yeah.
So, and
Demo's been around for a bit.
Demo has been around for a bit. But
I'm over here flexing nuts trying to figure out who's been on this team for a minute, though.
Yeah, and it's a big revolving door, and it's just baseball is a very team sport. It's also a very contagious sport. Hitting breeds good hitting. Slumps breed slumps, and we're watching it. The Mariners get hot for a little bit. We had that week-long hot stretch when we got Randy, when we got Turner. They were scoring 6-7 runs a game. And, it's contagious. When one guy starts hitting, the other guy starts hitting, and it kind of snowballs. And we've seen the opposite of that all season, where one guy can't hit a fucking ball, and now no one on the team can hit. Hitting is contagious for better or for worse. And currently it is for worse, and I don't see it getting any better. I don't know what else this team can do besides just hit the ball. One hit, bro.
9 innings of baseball, you got 1 hit.
1 hit. It was a random Robles single in the 5th inning against the Pirates. 1 hit. Detroit Tigers had multiple bullpen games against us. They weren't even using starters. They were using bullpen days, which are throwaway games. And actually, I think that was the one-hitter. The one-hitter was a bullpen day against Detroit.
They stuck it to us.
It's just... I don't know what else to do. I do think that we should as weird as it seems, keep the team around though. Like, if they have a year, so let's say we have 2 years left of a playoff window. Next year, keep the same guys. Let them work together and grow as a team. We're playing like plug and play, and we're just constantly mixing in new guys, new lineups, new batting orders, new positions. There's no cohesiveness with the team. It's a damn scatter plot. You know, let's keep some stuff together. Let's keep the same players. Even like, I mean, Mitch Haniger shouldn't be on a major league roster with the way he's playing, but you best believe he's going to go to another team when his contract's up and he's going to hit 280 just like that. It's going to happen. But let's keep the team together. Even the guys that aren't producing. Like, I personally would like Dominic Canzone gone. I've seen some flashes here or there. Kind of liked him, but I just don't think he has it. I'd like to see him gone, but if we need to keep this team together, I'm willing to have him stick around just for the team to be together.
I don't know, man. Throw Samad Taylor as outfielder number 5. Please.
I don't know. It's just a revolving door.
Yeah.
It's the same.
Well, our bullpen has also been blowing games.
Yeah. And you know what's funny is their pitching average for a bullpen. It's not rare for a bullpen to give up a run or two here or there. That's actually pretty common. But we just need that. We need every bullpen arm to be completely lights out.
Yes.
That when they're not, the game's over because the Mariners can't score.
It's true.
And, we've had...
So you really want to keep the team together, a team that can't hit? What are you going to do? You're going to go into the offseason, stick all of them in driveline, lock them in there, PJ party, go bond,
I mean...
do trust falls and shit like that until they're friends and they can play together. What do you want from these guys?
Kind of.
That's your plan?
I need some more teammate togetherness. If it takes pajama parties and trust falls, I'm all for it. But I don't think the answer, because let's look at what the Mariners continue to do.
Okay.
They continue to rotate half their roster year in and year out. They continue to mix the lineup up and have people playing different positions, batting in different orders. Like, I'm willing to just try keeping the team together just for the sake of doing something different. And by doing something different would be keeping shit the same.
I know what you mean, yeah.
Yeah, keep a same roster together.
Keep a regular batting order.
Keep a regular batting order. Keep regular people in a regular spot, night in and night out. No one can get comfortable when each night you don't know if you're starting. You don't know if you're batting second or seventh. You don't know if you're in right field or DHing.
You're going to bat fifth and you're going to play shortstop. Next day, you're going to bat eighth and you're going to play third base. It's like, what do I do?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. That's got to be stressful for these guys.
It is. And baseball players are so weird. They're such slaves to routine.
I don't think it's that weird to play a position and bat at a certain spot.
It shouldn't be weird.
And try and get shit to move.
Yeah. But they're always trying to mix stuff up. And it's literally they're like, oh, we're going to find the formula. Where it's
by changing it every day.
By changing it every day, you're not going to find the formula. So, yeah, we have about 2 or 3 more years. And what happens if the offseason, again, we offload Polanco, we offload Canzone,
Garver.
We offload Garver. And, I guess our outfield is pretty set. The Mariners did re-sign Robles for 2 years. That is actually exciting news.
That's sick. I'm super happy about that. Now, I'm going to disagree with you. I don't think sleepovers and pajama parties and trust falls is going to be the thing, dude. I think they're going to have to make some decisions in the offseason. Cut the guys that aren't cutting it, dude. I know it's just more revolving door, and that's what you don't want.
Yeah.
But, at the trade deadline, we didn't get rid of any of our top 10 prospects. This offseason, can we make some shit happen to get some decent players in here, can we also just like get new management, new coaching, whoever our hitting coach is right now? I'm not sure who it is. They're not really doing a good job.
Well, that's the thing is the Mariners keep firing their hitting coach. Like we have
It's
like
more
a
revolving door.
more revolving
Okay.
doors, and I don't fault the Mariners for firing their hitting coach, but it leads me to believe that there's something more nefarious going on, like legitimately a curse. Like
It feels that way. It
I
definitely
feel like
feels
the
that way.
team
But you
is
know what? Now that I'm
cursed.
thinking about it, you're right. You hear a lot about Perry Hill and how he works with his fielders and everything. You hear a lot about how Pete Woodworth works with it. And these are names we've heard for years. You
Yes.
just listen to a game on the radio. Perry's guys out there are really getting it done today. They're talking about how good the defense is. And Pete Woodworth is really helping these young pitchers out, establish themselves as major leaguers.
Yeah.
You hear this every day on the radio. I don't know the hitting coach's name.
And
You don't hear it.
yeah, that's true. Well, he's probably in protective custody, honestly. He's like every time the Mariners strike out 12 times in a game, he's like, please don't let anyone know what my name is. Please don't tell them
Yeah.
that I work for this team. I got resumes in the future. My LinkedIn is not going to be bogged down with this. But and we've tried everything with hitting coaches. We've tried bringing new people. We tried Edgar Martinez, and Edgar Martinez didn't work out because, and this is true for a lot of pure hitters, is that, and it's not even their fault, but hitting to them almost came naturally. They didn't have to work. I mean, they worked and made adjustments and stuff, but like there was so much natural talent there that it's hard for them to relay to players that do need to work and make adjustments and stuff. Because they're like,
Well,
why don't you just hit the ball? That's what I did. Not
For
saying,
sure.
but
I'm sure they get deep into like swing mechanics and stuff, and they're like, "Oh, you drop your back hip. Try not to do that." I don't know, just little things that maybe don't really help.
yeah,
Just like, yeah, they're not. Edgar Martinez isn't a hitting coach.
no,
He's just one of the best to ever do it.
he is one of the best to ever
Let him
do
be
it.
that.
But I mean, even the Cardinals did it. Like they brought in Mark McGwire as a hitting coach, and I guess he was like, "Hey, do steroids and hit the
gonna
ball
say, what was
550
his advice?
50 feet." But
Be bigger. Hit
yeah,
it hard.
be stronger. Just
Run
hit-
into it, and it will leave the park.
But that's why a lot of time good coaches were not great players because they knew what they had to do to make the adjustments. They just didn't have the natural ability, and they try to transfer that knowledge into players with the natural ability. So you get the best of both worlds.
Was Dusty Baker a good player? I don't know too much about his career.
I know he invented the high five.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah. Lupinella had a long ass career. I remember looking up Lupinella and saw he played for like 18 years or some shit. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. I think for the most part, I can see where you're coming from on coaching and being like the best.
But I don't know what our hitting coach is doing. It's not working.
Yeah.
We fired our offensive coordinator earlier in the season because they realized they signed him up for the wrong sport. He was calling up plays on 3rd and long, and we're hitting in the bottom of the 6th with 2 outs. So good thing the Mariners fired their offensive coordinator.
Yeah, our friend Scott was talking to me, and he's saying things like, yeah, they probably are coaching them on hitting, showing them these boxes with little green boxes, and they're like, see that zone?
You swing there.
Swing at that one. And then they get out to play. There's like, there's no green box. What do I do? And
This ain't MLB The Show. There's
Yeah.
no outline with the hot and colds. They're just up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I didn't. Why'd you strike out? Well, I didn't see the green box when I was up there. You showed it to me on the piece of paper.
Right.
Oh, another thing I wanted to kind of get into, and this is also with the Scott thing and just the team philosophy in general, is the reliance on analytics. And I even saw a tweet from a great Seattle sports personality, Stacy Jost, very knowledgeable, very smart person that works with the Mariners and did some 710 and stuff. But one of her reasonings And I thought this was interesting because it perfectly proved my argument, where she was like, all the people that want Scott fired for his bad decision making, even like putting Robbie Ray in the playoff game where he gave up the home run to Alvarez. She was like, you need to realize that there's a team of like statisticians that are also working behind those decisions. And I'm thinking, well, that's the problem. You're playing this game like it's a card game, or, like the results are filled out on paper and predetermined by stats. And the game is played by real people. These are real human beings out there. The stats on the paper don't matter when the human element is involved. And don't get me wrong, the stats do matter and they do show signs of stuff. But in the heat of the moment, if you're going off of what a paper says rather than what your gut says, you failed as a manager. And we see that with Scott all the time. Just, the analytics, the data, the statisticians are reading. And it's like, okay, well, clearly we're not getting results. Where's the statistician that shows, each time we go off what the paper says, we end up failing on the field. Maybe we should change that. It's just.
I think you're onto something with that last one there. Yeah, man, you hear even our pitchers talk about our pitching lab, how awesome it is, how they, I think it was Logan who was talking about like the difference between this pitch and this pitch. And he's like, well, yeah, we just analyzed it in the computer and figured out if I can put this rotation on it and this much more spin, then the ball goes in a completely different direction. It's like, okay, awesome. I'm glad you figured that out. But that's not like stats. That's just.
I mean, that is using data.
I see what you, yeah. But that's kind of where I'm going. Yeah, it's using data. You analyze what you got, and you can kind of adjust. That is not at all what the hitting is doing.
That's an excellent point.
Where's the translation from like how good we treat our pitchers to just like the bullshit we hand our bats? Because I'm starting to think that it really is like, here's your green square. When you're at bat, try and go for the green square. Don't hit the red square. And they're like, the fuck, dude? What is this doing for me? That's honestly what it feels like. I don't know what they do back there, clearly. But come on.
Also,
do something else.
Going off of your point of like, so Logan noticed that if he gripped the ball a certain way, he got this much more break, right? And it was effective. What if he discovered that if he held the ball this way, he throws it 4.5 feet outside every time, and they're just like, yeah, keep doing that. They clearly know what they're doing on the pitching side, and the hitting side, they're like, yeah, we keep failing, and we're not getting the results we want, but this is the angle we want to push. It doesn't make any sense. And yeah, how is our pitching so damn effective? And we take guys that have been iffy and stuff, and they come here, they work with our pitching coaches, they learn a new pitch, they get more movement, and then our hitting, we get players that can hit, and they come over here and just forget. Like, I don't know what the answer is, but how long, especially as the staff is watching this season get pissed away in front of our very eyes. Night in and night out, we're watching our division lead or losing like ground in the division. We don't have the division lead now. And now we're 1 game back, 2 game back, 3 game back, 4 games back. Like, how long can you keep doing this and be like, oh, it's going to work eventually?
With about 40, maybe 39 now, I can't remember, games left in the season.
We're on the home stretch.
5 games back is so much. That's really tough to make up that kind of ground. And you're right. When do they go, okay, you know what? Fuck it. This doesn't work. I don't think it's going to happen. I think we're just not making the playoffs this year, to be honest. Honestly,
with today's, the Saturday loss, with, again, another bullpen coming in and runs not scoring, I felt that today might have been the nail in the coffin.
Man, every time we get on here and we talk the most shit we possibly can, something good happens. So hopefully that happens. And honestly, if it doesn't, good. Put me out of my fucking misery. Let me know that it's over so I can stop hoping.
Yeah, I mean, just get 7 games back, and so we don't even have to.
Please.
So we're like, okay, well, playoffs aren't.
It's either that or take the division. Don't do what you did last year and lose it by half a game. Come
That's
on.
what they do.
I know.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Mariners front office strategically plans the losses so that we know
So the analytics do work.
they do.
Pick a side. You can't have it both ways.
They're like, well, we know that if we hang on just enough, we'll have a sold-out stadium for games 160, 161, and 162. It'll be a sold-out stadium as the Mariners get swept and miss the playoffs. It seems, and I don't believe that the Mariners front office is serious about winning a World Series. And we saw that with, and harping on it enough, but DePoto's 54% comments. Those are comments that he made. Our goal is to win 54% of games because that shows that can get you into the playoffs. That is not the speech of someone that wants to win a World Series. That is the speech of someone calculating how to win just enough that you can get a little bit of playoff revenue. And that's why he's the king of moving the goalpost. How each year it's like, oh, just another year, another 2 years. We'll get it then. And that's why I believe that he didn't move any of our top 10 prospects at the trade deadline this year, because now he can go back to the board and show, hey, I know we missed the playoffs this year, but look at our farm system. Look at these prospects I have. They're going to come up and be good. You better keep me around because I found them. He's strategically doing just enough to keep his job. He doesn't care about winning the World Series. A guy that goes out and says our goal is to win 54%, that's not someone saying our goal is to win the championship. Our goal is to get the Seattle Mariners in the first World Series in franchise history. Only team that has never been to the World Series. We're going to conquer that. We're going to get this team to the World Series. No, he says, our goal is to win 54%.
Give me a couple more years.
Give me a couple more years.
Things like that. Yeah.
It's just, and winning
goes beyond him, though. The ownership, man.
Yeah.
Everyone's kind of backed off the ownership because they went out. They said, okay, Jerry and Justin, you can have just enough. You can go get Rosarena and you can get Turner and we can get Chargois back. Like, okay, that's a start. Now really open the wallet, make it rain on these hoes, and get some fucking bats, bro. Yeah, I was going to say something. I can't remember what it was.
But our pitching is being wasted. Cal Raleigh is the best overall catcher in baseball. I would love for him to retire as a Seattle Mariner. That probably won't happen because, again, and, we all like to believe that they love the team they play for and stuff. And Cal has never given any reason that he doesn't like playing in Seattle.
He's got his frustrations, just like all of us do.
Yeah. But you best believe if Cal has the chance to sign a 10-year contract with the Seattle Mariners or a 5-year contract for whatever team wants him, which is another person who probably has his pick of the litter when his contract is due up, why would he choose to stay here? Why would any of these players choose to stay in a franchise that has shown that they're not dedicated to winning?
It's a great question.
It wouldn't surprise me if all our fan favorites now are gone in a couple years. As soon as they have the chance to leave for greener pastures, why wouldn't they? And who can blame them? Why would you not want to leave this team and go to somewhere that cares about winning and not winning just enough,
Yeah, man.
And, with the Cal thing, we have Harry Ford in our farm system, top prospect, could be the real deal. But you never know how players develop when they get
who absolutely is the real deal is Cal Raleigh.
100,
with no question.
He's become the first catcher since Mike Piazza to hit 20 as a catcher to hit 25 or more home runs in 3 straight seasons. Cal has done that. Mike Piazza did it for 8 straight years. Mike Piazza's the real deal. But we have a Piazza. We have a Hall of Fame catcher on our roster right now. And yeah, the average isn't great, but he's not there to hit a single. He's
Right,
there.
yeah.
He's there to call great games behind the plate, throw out runners on the base pass, and hit dongs.
And steal bases, I guess.
He's put the trailer off every now and again.
He just got thrown out for the first time this season. He was 5 for 5, and then I heard on the radio, it was so brief. He tried to steal. They went to throw him out. He was safe, but they called him out, and the Mariners couldn't challenge it because they had already lost their challenge on some other bullshit. So, not perfect anymore, but that motherfucker was safe. And we all know it. I didn't see it. I heard it.
It's just like, I mean, what are we doing? And we're looking at the next series we have coming up. So we got the Pirates for Game 3 tomorrow. Try to avoid a sweep, which I don't see that happening. Then the Dodgers.
Oh, yeah. That'll be a super fun series.
And, I mean, it'll be fun to watch the star power on their team. I love Ohtani, and I'm a big Freddie Freeman fan. And Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts. The Dodgers are a
Give
fun
me
team.
Mookie Betts all day.
I think Chris Taylor's still over there. I don't think he...
Dodgers are crazy, bro.
And then we got the Giants. And, who knows? I mean, we thought we should have dog walked the Tigers, and
Twice.
the Motor City Kitties licked us. So. Twice. Including a fucking sweep with a 15-1 blowout in there. I mean, it's not fun baseball. It's just like, how long can they drag us along? You know, I love this team so much, and I'll never throw in the towel, but they make me want to. You know, it's not fun to watch the games. It's not fun. You know, the Pirates series, they have back-to-back games at 10:30 in the morning. That should be a lot of fun. You wake up, you have early morning baseball, and instead it just bums me out for the whole entire day because I'm like, oh, they lost? They had the bases loaded, no one out, and they couldn't score? Sick. Oh, Randy Arozarena struck out 5 times. That's awesome. I'm really looking forward to the rest of my day now.
Yeah. Couldn't move the Manfred runner.
Yeah, we went to extras. Free runner on second base. Couldn't even move him to third. And I don't know. And we've had some questionable Scott decisions in there. Not having Munoz. Ooh, actually, I screenshotted this. I'd love to show it to you, but my phone is at the bottom of a lake. Scott said, so in the game where Munoz came in and shut the Pirates down in the 9th, then goes into the 10th, the Mariners don't score, and then the Mariners put in Snyder in the bottom of the 10th. Scott's comments almost make it seem worse. He said he would have put Munoz back in to throw the second inning if the Mariners had the lead.
Yeah.
So you believe he's your best pitcher. You believe he has the best chance of stopping them from scoring. But you're not going to put him in the bottom of the 10th because the Mariners don't have the lead. He's in the same position as he was in the 9th. And he threw 10 pitches in the 9th inning. It's not like, oh, he was out there laboring. 10 pitches, 3 outs. Boom, done with the 9th. He's ready to go for the 10th. And you're going to pull him because the Mariners don't have the lead. What is the fucking logic in that? What is the logic? There's no game sense there. There's no feel. Oh, and he was better off not saying anything. If
Right.
he was just like, oh, I don't know. Or Munoz wasn't feeling it. Fucking lie to us. Say something. But you go out there and you feel comfortable showing your managerial inadequacies, being like, oh, if we had the lead, we would have used him, but we didn't, so we put in another guy. And it's not like Snyder, who blew the game, has been a bad pitcher either. But is he better than...
Was it Jimmy who blew the game? Someone early before Munoz let a run go.
Jimmy came in and he gave up the home run that tied the game.
I was going to ask at the time because, like I said, I always listen on the radio. I can never watch the games.
Thanks, Root.
Yeah. Thanks, work schedule. That when, I guess it was a walk-off base hit or a double or something.
Yeah.
Was it over Robles' head?
Yeah, it was. Also,
doesn't he play like a very shallow center field?
So
can you take 10 steps back and be ready for a ball that's going to go over your head? I mean, is there any blame to put on Robles for being in a weird spot in the outfield?
No, that is actually a good point, and I believe you're correct. So in situations like that, you would typically want your defense to play no doubles defense, which means you have your outfield extremely far back,
so you can always be
so the ball is in front of you. So even if it drops down, and let's say the runner knows it's going to drop, he's breaking from second. If it drops in front of you and it even looks like he's going to score, you can at least fire it home and have a chance.
Yeah,
right.
When you're running backwards, they're like, "Peace, nerds."
It's
that's
done.
A walk off. Yeah,
and especially at that level, you see the numbers on the back of the jersey. You see that they're dead sprinting back. You just take off. And that is what they did. And Robles was in a poor position for the end of that game. Now, I don't know. I mean, there's plenty of blame to go around for that. One, Robles should know better. But two, the coaching staff should also have noticed and had all of the outfield playing no doubles defense. Now, it does make sense. Let's say there's 2 outs or 1 out or whatever, and the runner's on third. You want to play in front because anything hit over your head is going to score the run anyway, so it doesn't matter. So you want to play the outfield in that kind of situation so they can run in on a ball, and like I said, anything hit over their head, it wouldn't have mattered anyways.
Right.
But in the situation they were in, 1 out, runner on second, there's no reason for the outfield to be playing in. And that's just bad management. I don't know if the blame is to go on Robles being in the wrong position, if it's on the coaching staff for not having him in the right position. But the fact of the matter is, he was not in the right position. The Mariners were not in no double defense. And it got hit over his head. And it would, if he was playing deep, because like it bounced like right before the warning track. So it was a deep ball. But if he's playing deep enough, at the very least, he catches it and the runner tags and takes third. Now you have a runner on third with 2 outs.
You get another shot at it.
You're a much
Game
better.
Isn't over yet.
Yes.
Right.
So and again, that just tiles into like the bad coaching decisions, bad defense, everything's going wrong. And you actually made a good example in the group chat. I was very critical at the end of that loss on Scott not putting Munoz in for the 10th, which is fair. But
I think that is fair.
But you also pointed out, you're like, the fact is the Mariners scored 1 run on a bullpen day against the Tigers. That is where the true blame lies. And
Snyder's been very good too.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're 100% right on that. It's easy.
It's fun and it's easy to blame Scott for everything.
But it's on the offense for not being able to score more than 1 run against a sub-500 team on a bullpen day. And if you're a playoff baseball team, a sub-500 team on a bullpen day, you should win by 7 runs.
Sure. You
should hop all over that. Instead, you manage to meager across 1 run. It's just...
I got another one for you. I hear a lot, especially on the radio, that if you make the playoffs, say the Mariners make the playoffs, our pitching is so good. Everyone wants to say, like, this kind of pitching is what's going to get you far in the playoffs. I hear that all the time, and I go, no, it's not, because we're not going to put up any runs. You can't win a ball game 0-0. Your pitching can be great. You need a run. Get us a run. It's not happening.
No, I mean, and
So every time I hear it, I get frustrated. I want to know your thoughts on it.
well, the statement itself is true. The pitching could get you far in the playoffs.
I understand that. We're
How-
talking about a Mariners ball club.
No, it will get you jack shit. I mean, look at it, because we have the best rotation in baseball, and we're not even going to make the playoffs.
But if we did make the playoffs,
But if we did-
that's what would get you really far. No, stop saying it, dude. It's fucking annoying, and it just bums me out even more.
It's just, I just can't even imagine what the locker room dynamics are like. Like, after the game and the doors close, Brian Wu just throws 7 shutout innings and he gets a no decision and the team gets a loss. Like, I mean, are the players apologizing? Are the hitters apologizing to the pitching staff? Because they fucking should be. They need to be apologizing to them game in and game out, being, you put us in position to win this game and we didn't do our jobs. And that's flat out what it is. The hitters are not doing their jobs. Their job is to hit a baseball, and they're not doing it.
At least get on base. You don't even have to hit the baseball to get on base.
You know what's funny is the second game we lost against the Pirates, Mariners walked 5 times. 5 free base runners. 1 hit, 1 run on a bases loaded walk. It's just you get 5 free base runners and you can't hit them in. And that's always the worst thing is the Mariners have traffic. We get people on base occasionally, but when we get them on, we can't situational hit for shit.
Right.
And
they never come in to score. They do.
But
just doesn't feel like they ever do.
Well, and when you're losing games by 1 run and you scored only 1 run, that's not taking advantage of every situation that game gave you. You're going to have your chances in each and every game. There's a few outliers, some dominant pitching performance where, you can't really get stuff going. But the Mariners have chances in every game.
Talking about okay, we lost that one. It's Scooble. He's amazing. What can you do? We'll get him tomorrow. Then you don't get him tomorrow and you go,
on a bullpen day?
Oh, it's not just Scooble. It's that we're awful.
And Scott's comments of you really got to tip your cap to that pitcher. All his stuff was working. No, all his stuff wasn't working. Your hitters just don't. They just freeze up and shit their pants whenever they see a pitch. And tying back into the stat we talked about a couple weeks ago about the Mariners being 4th in chase rate, 4th best in not chasing pitches out of the zone, and dead last in zone contact. That is something fundamentally wrong with the team when you have a group of major league hitters that cannot make contact with pitches in the zone. That goes somewhere with hitting philosophy, coaching staff. I don't know if they're telling them to sit and don't chase the off speed, so attack pitches in the zone, but then they're waiting to see the pitch in the zone and then they're swinging late on it, which is why we also see so many balls right down the middle that get fouled straight back because they're just missing it because they're slightly late on their swing. And this is just an amateur opinion, but I think that might be the philosophy they're going for. The coaching staff, especially the hitting coaching staff, is saying, we don't want you to chase, right? We don't want you swinging at sliders 3 feet out of the zone. So have a good eye for that and attack pitches in the zone. But they're waiting so long to identify the pitch in the zone that their swing is just that half tick too late. And that's why we're seeing all these foul tips and just missed in these sky-high pop-ups. Because they're trying so hard to attack pitches in the zone that they end up not being able to attack them because they're planning their attack, right? Instead of just letting it come smoothly and see the ball and hit the ball. And they're just trying all of this, tactics, and it's not working. It's not working.
I heard, I can't remember if it was Robles or Rivas, one of the two, I think, was doing batting practice before a game and like taking a step toward the pitcher's mound, and like they're throwing through the machine, elevated velocities, and he's getting closer and closer until he was like 10 feet closer to the pitcher's mound and still trying to make contact. I love that. That's somebody who gives a shit, like wants to be like, okay, if I can hit 100 miles per hour from 10 feet closer, let's get that like reaction time down, and then like slowly step back into the batter's box and take cuts from there. I was like, that's a sick drill. I don't know who told him that, or if he just decided like, I'm gonna take matters into my own hands and try to be a better baseball player.
Yeah.
And I don't know which one it was, so sorry about that.
And I think it was Rivas, and Rivas is also. His average is still in the shitter because when he came up, he was abysmal. But he's hitting the ball a little bit right now. He's not an automatic out in the lineup.
I see his value.
Yes. And again, and it is hard to give up on players early, which is another staple of the Mariners organization, is look at how many players they had given up on too early, and just a year or two later went up and had nice careers. Chris Taylor is a perfect example. Came in, young guy, and we're just like, oh, he clearly doesn't have it. Shipped him off. He's had a nice career. He hasn't had the long career numbers, but he had a good prime, three years in there of solid baseball, and he has like 2 World Series titles because of it. Ketel Marte. Came up as a second baseman. Rookie year, sophomore year, hitting down in the dumps. Oh, this guy clearly doesn't have it. Give up on him, ship him to Arizona. One of the best hitting second basemen in all of baseball. Adam Jones. Adam Jones could be a potential Hall of Famer. Gave up on him after 1 year. And that's where I kind of get like the stomach-ish of like, do we give up on these guys? And don't get me wrong, it's not like Garver and Polanco are 22 years old. They are
spring chickens over there.
That's right. But don't you want to at least maybe see how it plays out with a regular at-bats and a couple years with the same organization? You can feel comfortable. And,
dude, Garver is a monster. No, he's just a timid little baby calf.
Dude, he looks scared at the plate.
What happened, dude? I think about this analogy way too much. I need to just like stop doing it. But in Space Jam, when the fucking Monstars
take all the NBA's talent.
Yeah, they get that talent like into the ball, and then you see like the orange glow. I'm like, I just see that in like Mitch Garver when I'm like, who sapped his ability? It's gone, man. You remember when Charles Barkley in the movie like can't play with like 14-year-olds?
Yeah, you're not Charles Barkley. You suck.
Yeah, dude, what is
He's
this?
just getting like boxed out by like some 14-year-old girl.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's Garver is getting boxed
You're
out.
not Charles Barkley. You're just a guy who looks like him. Yeah, dude, is this Mitch Garver or a guy that looks like him? What is happening, man?
And he looks lost at the plate. And you know what? I'm gonna say the same thing about Luke Raley. Like watching on the TV side and watching Luke Raley's at bats. Yeah, you can put in a charge into one, but the confidence that I saw earlier in the year from Raley is gone. Luke Raley, there's at bats where he just looks lost at the plate. And how is that happening? How is it happening to these guys with a full... The season's almost done. We're on the home stretch of the season, final third. How did these guys look less comfortable at the plate with 300, 400 at-bats under their belt?
Yeah, you see these guys come in, they look happy, they're having fun playing the game. It just leads me to believe that it certainly is something that the coaching staff is telling them, like, hey, I see you having fun out there. Try to do this instead. And then Nothing. You get zilch out of it.
Yeah, just fundamentally, this team is broken. The only thing going right for this team right now is our starting pitching. Our defense isn't it. Our bullpen isn't it. And our hitting certainly isn't it. And, I mean, now we're looking at a week straight without a win.
It's been a tough week.
It has been.
You seen Mariners PR, Twitter, and Instagram and YouTube and stuff? All the comments are like, how about you stop fucking around and start playing some baseball? Like, all the comments, dude.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, this is rough. They're like, people are mad that they're still putting out, like, happy-go-lucky Brian Wu and Logan Gilbert go to a restaurant together videos when they're like, why are you doing this when, well, not that they need to be practicing more than other people, you know?
Yeah.
So at least it was pitchers in that case. It's like, you get to do that. Don't show me Julio Rodriguez. Don't show me any of these bats.
I don't want to see Julio Rodriguez at a pool party.
No having fun until you can hit a ball.
Do not show me a picture of Julio Rodriguez smiling. Show me a picture of him sweating in the cage. That's what I need to see. I need to see results. And, you know, I know these players have got to be just as frustrated.
Oh, they for sure are.
But, and again, this can be considered kind of a cop-out, like blaming Scott. And again, Scott is not the whole problem with this team. It's not like this team is a 110-win ball club if Scott just isn't the manager. That's not the case. Scott is not solely to blame. But I need to see some fucking fire from these guys. And it needs to start with the manager. I need the manager to go, these guys need a fire under their ass. I'm going to go and kick dirt at an umpire, even if the call isn't even that egregious.
Exactly. Then after the game, you take him into the locker room and be like, you see me out there fighting for you guys? Give me something to fight for, please.
Yes.
Like, you see me out there doing it. Where's your side of the bargain, you know?
Yes.
These players have nothing like that. They're like, Scott doesn't give a fuck.
And it goes from the top down. I don't see the fire. I don't see them losing a game 2-1 in the 10th inning. And I want to see some form of passion. Fucking throw your glove on the ground. Kick some dirt. And, you know, I like the happy dance when they win. But let's see some of that energy for a loss. Let me see you spit at the ground and kick some dirt. Let me see that you're upset. And to me, when they don't show that they're upset, it's not that they aren't upset, but it shows me that they're complacent with like, oh, that's the way it goes.
Yeah, but you also don't really see a lot of that unless you're at the game, watching them walk off the field. They don't show it on TV.
True.
That's not the side of the Mariners they want you to see when they broadcast it.
Fair.
So you see a lot less of it because it's shown to you a lot less. You got to be there.
That is true, and you do notice more, like going to games.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of my favorite things. Like, I've been going to games my whole life, and it seems like just within the last few years, I've really decided to pick up on like kind of the little ins and outs, the stuff that happens between innings, how players interact with each other and stuff like that. And I think part of it is doing this podcast and kind of like noticing the little things, like how I noticed that like Ty France and Cal didn't seem like they were getting along. That's probably not something I would have noticed before doing this show. And now I'm like more on the lookout for it. But I mean, I've been to Mariners games this season with bullshit losses, and it's a lot of head hanging and you just grab your gear and head into the dugout. And again, double-edged sword, because with the professionalism that comes with being a Major League Baseball player, you don't want to see the necessary like temper tantrums. Like we ripped on Jared Kelenic for being overly hot-headed.
Yeah.
So I think it
to the point where he hurt himself. Come on.
Yeah.
Like, he deserved everything that came to him.
But I do want to see the balance of one, not getting overly hot-headed like Kelenic and, you know, breaking your foot, kicking a cooler. But, you know, maybe kick some dirt around. Maybe maybe throw your glove in frustration.
Throw some profanity out there.
Watch your profanity. But I need to see. Point blank.
Yeah.
We need a spark, and that hasn't happened. And 2 years ago we had the Angels brawl that started a spark. I need some type of spark, whether it's fighting another team. I don't care. Fight them. Fight another team. Have Scott kick dirt. Have a player, a high-profile player, get ejected and get his money's worth. Throw his helmet at the ground. Do everything without, crossing the line that warrants a suspension. Don't bump the umpire. Don't spit at him.
Yeah.
But get your money's worth. Show a spark. Show some kind of life. I feel like this team is when you go out to a secluded smoking spot and you accidentally drop your lighter into a puddle and you're like, oh no, it will still work, and you just keep sparking it and just nothing happens. That's what I feel like the Mariners are. They're a wet lighter. And as a fan of the team, I was thinking of the whirlwind of sweeping the Mets and holding them to 1 run over 3 games, and then getting smacked around by the Tigers and now the Pirates. I feel like that one amusement park ride, you're on a bench and it spins you around and kind of launches you out and then pulls you back in.
Yeah.
There's a couple different names for it. There's a ride for it Wild Ways. It's the Shuffler or whatever.
Okay.
But you're on a bench and it spins you around
and
it twirls and you go out. And to me, watching the Mariners is it brings you in and you do that fun spin and a twirl, and then when it launches you towards the fence line, some guy just punches you in the face. And you're like, oh, that sucked. Oh, I'm inside spinning again. This is fun. Oh, I'm going out. And he's still there and he just hits you. And the ride doesn't stop. It's a never-ending ride, and you just spent eternity with this guy just landing straights to your right cheekbone forever. And that's being a Mariners fan.
It does feel like that, yeah. And we keep coming back. And we keep doing it.
We keep doing it.
And
we
talk
finally
about
get
it
off
every week.
We finally get off the ride, and then you're like, you know what?
I'm gonna do it again.
That inside spinning part was really fun. I hope that guy doesn't punch me in the face anymore. Didn't really care for that. All right, I'm going to hop on it again. And sure enough, there he is, ready to just hit you with jabs. And that is being a Mariners baseball fan. Let's avoid the sweep against the Pirates. Let's try. And you know what's funny is, in my heart of hearts, I truly believe that the Mariners are going to sweep the Dodgers on the road. And just
You don't believe that.
I do.
Why? Why would that happen?
Because I'm a psychotic Mariners fan.
Okay.
I've been a fan of this team.
We're going to get 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers.
Even still. And that will be just enough for be like, hey, this is a real deal. The Dodgers, 2 or 3 against the Dodgers on the road? Nah, this is a playoff baseball team. And then we're going to drop 2 or 3 to the Giants. But
Yep.
I believe in I'm not even going to lie to you. I go to bed at night thinking the Mariners are going to sweep the Dodgers on the road. They've given me no reason to believe that. It's straight up delusion.
It sure is.
At this point.
We are going to have a brutal day tomorrow, a fine series, and then a not that fun series.
That very well could be it. Well, we'll be back next week. Hopefully with good news, but we're not here to sugarcoat shit. It doesn't look promising. It's rough. We're watching our chance at the division slip further and further away, night in and night out. We're watching the offense not produce. We're watching our defense make errors, and we're watching our starting pitching doing the best that they can and doing the best in baseball.
It's so good.
And just getting spit on because of it.
Isn't that crazy? They go out there, throw 7 scoreless innings. They walk back, and then the whole team is just like, all over these guys.
Oh, nice work you did there. It would really suck if someone scored 0 runs on top of that, huh? Just getting shaken down by their own offense.
Sweet.
Well, thank you all for being a part of this.
The episodes are better when we're upset.
We definitely flow a lot more when all we have to do is talk shit. It's a lot easier because they give us so much ammunition to talk about.
It's true.
Well, hopefully when we come back next week, we'll have good news, but I'm at the stage where I don't have my fingers crossed for it. I'm just prepared for heartbreak the rest of the season. But they play 162 games, and it's not over till it's over. Thank you all for listening. This episode is over, but we'll be back next week, and hopefully we'll have smiles on our faces and more to talk about.
With Matt.
Matt will be back. We look forward to having him back, and I hope he's having fun out there. Thank you all for being a part of this, and go Mariners!
About to fire it up. Talk a bunch of shit about a team that sucks. Fire it up.
Team that makes you go, what the fuck?
Fire it up. Talk some shit about a team that sucks.
Team that makes you go, what the fuck?
Fuck. What the fuck?
I said, fuck. What the fuck? Why you lose so many games? Why can't you hit a baseball? Shit makes me wonder why you fucking even play the game at all. Just give up. Just go home. Give me something better to do. Do.